All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Nick Dutman. I'm the Communications and Marketing Manager here for the West Bend Theater Company and also a member of its Board of Directors. So glad you could join us this morning. Joining me today is Christy Miceli. Hopefully I got that name correct.
You
Christy
did?
is going to be the director of An Act of God, which will be performed September 11th and 12th, and that is at the Bend. I'll pump the information here as now you see it scrolling across the bottom of your screen. At the Bend is the newly renovated downtown West Bend Theater. Absolutely gorgeous facility with the renovation. Tickets are on sale now at wbtheaterco.com. Again, all the information's there at the bottom. So tickets are going fast. We actually have just reached a pretty important milestone. And remember, we do have a capacity on how many tickets we can sell. So don't delay and get your tickets. But in the meantime, let's learn a little bit more about Christy, the director for An Act of God. So Christy, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Sure, right. Can you tell us kind of what is your excitement level for the opportunity to get to stage live theater once again? It's with the pandemic, it seems like it's been forever, hasn't it? So how excited are you about getting going and getting something going in terms of live theater?
Oh, I'm excited. I was cast in a show for Kettle Moraine Play that unfortunately had to get bumped back. So that won't be until next season. And I really thought that would be the next opportunity for live theater would be. And when they approached me to do this and told me how we were going to do it with the masks and the social distancing and the limited number of tickets, and asked me if I wanted to be part of it, I was like, yes, I miss the theater. I miss the excitement. I miss the crowds. I miss the audience. I miss the cast. I miss all the things. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped.
And kind of tell us about yourself a little bit. Looks like you'll be making your debut with us. Looks like you mentioned that most of your work has been with the Kettle Moraine Playhouse over in Slinger, but this is the first time you've had a chance to work with us, if I remember correctly. So for people that may not know who you are, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of your theater background?
Sure. So I'm Christy Miceli. I live in Hartford. I had about a 20-year hiatus from the theater after college, and I had not done anything until about 2018 when I auditioned in Slinger at the Kettle Moraine Playhouse, just on a whim with my friend, not thinking we were going to make it or get in. And we were both cast within walking in the door because we were gabbing. We were just acting like girls, what they wanted for that show. So that was super exciting. That's how I met Rob, who plays God. He was also in that show. He played my brother-in-law in that one. And we became good friends. And I met some awesome people that just love the theater in the Slinger area. And you don't realize how many very talented people you have in your local community that do these sort of things. So I did a lot of work with KMP, and I'm super excited to spread out into West Bend. I got to meet Nancy. I'd never met Nancy before. She's the one producing the show, and she's amazing. So I think it's going to be a really just exciting time.
Yeah, and I could certainly attest to how you felt. So, a couple years ago, I did The Little Mermaid with Hartford Players in 2017. And that was the first time in 20 years for me that I had done anything theater related. The last thing I did was in high school. And the type of people that you meet in theater is just amazing. And you kind of touched on it too. It's just the appreciation for the talent level. I mean, they say community theater only because you don't get paid for it, but that does not mean these people are not talented. And these are some very talented people and good people too. I mean, I maintain friendships with every cast member from Little Mermaid, and I got to do Christmas Carol last year, and I maintain friendships with them. So it's just a great group of people. We all share great interests. So you and I are same boat, and it's neat to get involved in this. And I certainly, you can agree with me that it's a group of people we certainly want to be a part of. And you mentioned too, this is to me earlier that this is the first time you're directing a show, and you're just getting back into theater. So how in the world did you feel like you could do directing?
Yeah, that is a question. I did the role of stage manager on A Diary of Anne Frank at Kettle Moraine Playhouse. And that was a hugely different thing. I'd never taken on that responsibility before. And it was a challenge for sure. That was a tough play to put off in that space and what they were doing. They did put on a great show, but it was a lot of work. And during that, I kept saying, oh, well, if I was directing, I would do this. If I was directing, I would do that. And Bessie, again, who plays God, said, well, why don't you direct a show? And I was like, what? I don't know how to do that. And he's like, you should do it. He's like, try it. So I just thought he was kind of nuts. Whatever. He is kind of nuts. But
yeah, he's an interesting
when
character.
They approached direct this, yeah, he's a character. He actually said, I want you to direct this show. And he's like, give Nancy a directing resume. I said, well, just hand her a blank piece of paper. Like, because I've never done this before. But I'm inherently bossy, and I know what I like to see. So when they're up there running their lines, if they're not making me laugh, some directing, I'm like, oh, you just missed a funny line. That's a funny line. So no, I do think I can do it. There's not much in my life that I say, oh, I can't do that. I always say, yeah, sure, I can do it. And then, God willing, and the creek don't rise, I get it done.
Yeah, and obviously, and this is, directing in itself, I've never done it myself, so I have no idea, but I've worked with directors and I've seen them work. Not an easy responsibility, let alone during a pandemic when you're having to do the directing virtually through video. And we posted some pictures of you the other day hosting rehearsal in your backyard outside. So what has that challenge been like to not only direct for the first time, but do it in this kind of setting?
Yeah, normally you would be holding, in-person rehearsals together, ideally in the space that you're going to be using. Our challenge with this show is we can't even get into that theater until a few days before opening to set up the stage, get our blocking down in that exact space. And that last week I'm going to be a wreck week because I'll be like, I'll be super stressed out. But the rehearsals, we do them outside. We're social distanced about it. We're all very conscious about what's going on in the world. We want utmost to keep the cast and crew safe so we don't spread anything to families and friends. That would be horrible. That'd be devastating for us to be like, oh, we're going to put on theater, but let's see how many people we can take out in the process. That's not our plan here. No, so we've been very safe about it. And the cast has been great, meeting in the backyard. They tease me about not mowing the lawn. I'll get that done.
Well, we'll give you a pass.
Yeah, it has been a challenge. Right, I know. I'm like, I am busy.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the show? What is an act of God?
So I say this show will be very insulting to people that do not have a sense of humor about religion. This could make some people angry, for sure, unless you know how to laugh. So the premise of this show is God comes down to West Bend and says, you know what? I love you, but you've got the 10 Commandments a little bit wrong. You interpreted them wrong, and I want to set the record straight and give you some new ones. So it's definitely a comedy. There's a lot of laughter that's going to be showing up in the show because it's pretty in your face. And if you're a hardcore religious fanatic, you will not like the show. If you have a sense of humor and you're missing laughing and you're missing live theater and just the excitement when the lights go down, then you're going to love this show because it's funny. It is definitely a funny show.
Yeah, I've certainly read the reviews. The New York Times, New York Magazine just consistently said when they reviewed it a few years ago just how funny it is, and it comes at you repeatedly and quickly as well. And you kind of touched on it too, just everything that we've had to deal with over the last 5-6 months. I think we all need that opportunity to laugh and kind of let the guard down and enjoy and have something to laugh about. So Yeah, kind of tell us about the cast. Rob is starring as God, as mentioned. Uh, Megan Bell and Mac Bates. Mac, we talked to the other day, is one of the two angels, so that completes the cast.
Yep.
What do you think? What do you think about the three castmates and what they can bring to this show?
I love how adorable they are together. So you get Rob, who's tall and goofy, and and he's playing God, so his head's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as the rehearsals go on. Just kidding. And, and you have Mac, who he speaks for humanity. And I worked with Mac before. I worked with him at the Kettle Moraine Playhouse in War of the Worlds. So I've worked alongside him. So this is really fun for me to be able to like pipe in, not as a friend being like, hey, buddy, why don't you do it this way? But as a director saying, you know what? I want you to do it this way. Show me another way. And he's so adaptable, and he's a good guy. I like Mac a lot. And he's a feminist, which I love. And then you got Megan, who right now is on my naughty list for not being the most sucking up angel, because I do have two butt cheeks. They're so cute together. So Megan's so tiny and demure, and then Mac's like all in your face, humanity, and it's a really interesting visual show. Or like just with the three of them, because they're all so very different. And then you're going to have the angels and their wings and their halos, and that alone is comedy. Just looking at them.
I mean, the picture we shared of Mac in his wings and his halo, I don't think I've seen something as funny as that in quite a long time. He's a big guy, and he's got a halo, and he's got just the perfect smile. Boy, if that doesn't epitomize what this show is going to represent, I don't know what will. And then you put him next to Megan, who's a marathon runner, so not exactly a big person. So it's just talk about extremes in terms of two angels. And then looking at Rob, if anybody saw him in Flanagan's Wake back in March, he is someone that can bring a big punch to the comedy table. So how excited do you think the cast is about this opportunity? I mean, do you kind of see them? Do you see the itch with them and the excitement for them to finally get back on stage after so many months away?
Oh, definitely. They say things like Megan said she was going for walks and she had her script with her and she was running her lines as she was going for walks, thinking, her neighbors probably think she's nuts. Like, who just talks out loud when they're going for walks? Crazy people or theater people. That's what you do.
Exactly.
Mac has a really big monologue that he's been practicing in his car. And he has to get pretty loud. So I'm sure people driving next to Mac are like, oh, another crazy person. Or that might be a theater person. And Rob, he has a ton of lines in this. So he's been running them in his head for, since they decided on this script. And for them to get into a space, even though it's my backyard, and to be able to run these things together, and then they feed off each other. Their facial expressions, they're finally figuring out, their voices as a group, and it's really interesting to watch. And for me, it's very exciting to watch because I watch them do these lines and I'm thinking, this is going to be a good show.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it myself. It's just because I know the level of talent that the three of them possess and Rob's ability, his comedic talent. And you saw it in full force in Flanagan's Wake. I mean, I don't think I've heard a room laugh as loud as people did during Flanagan's Wake. So, Christy, I'll try and leave you here on this note here. And this is going to be a chance to be a historic show on a couple of different levels. One, it's the first thing we get to do since the pandemic started, and we get to do it in a live setting. But we also get to do it in a very historic building. The one that's very important to a lot of people in West Bend and Washington County is the Downtown Theater. It closed down, I think it was 2009. Number of years went into financing and revitalizing this facility, and it's just turned out to be a masterpiece of a facility. So how excited are you and the cast about the opportunity to perform in this kind of venue and really we're going to be the first community theater company or organization to perform on this stage in this way. So how excited is everybody about that kind of opportunity?
Oh, it's super exciting. I went and saw the space the other day, and I had to figure out my logistics, for my set and my lights and my crew and stage hands and all that. So there's, those are challenges too, because they don't have set things like that in place for live theater. They're, so this is a learning experience for the venue as well. When we walk in and go, okay, turn off the house lights. What do those look like now? Turn on my stage lights. Do these move? And they're like, nope. I'm like, we will figure it out. So yeah, it's exciting. It is definitely exciting, but yeah, it is going to be a challenge. But that space is beautiful. That renovation they did is amazing. You would have never thought in a million years that that building had been empty. It's gorgeous. They've done so much work there. And I'm so proud of the people that I met there, that they were able to pull that off. And just what a bad string of timing to open up right during a pandemic,
Right.
when everything gets shut down.
Yeah, and certainly an opportunity to support a local business as well. Yeah, there's just so much good that can come out of this. So that's why we hope people can log on and get your tickets for An Act of God. I see the information's coming across the bottom of the screen. So, Christy, I really appreciate the couple minutes you took out of your time today to chat with us. I know I'm excited. I can speak on the board and for the organization that we're excited that this show is happening, that you're leading the way. We're excited about the casts. I can't emphasize how exciting this opportunity is for everybody involved, and we encourage people to give us support, not only for us as an organization, but for the Bend as well. So, Christy, we will let you go here, and in theater, let's break a leg, and I can't wait to see the show and meet you in person.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see you there.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.